Welcome to ManXP. For more Manhwa content, please like and subscribe. Enjoy the video. The story starts with a battle between two warriors, Urich and Portgal. Urich is a barbarian from the Stone Axe tribe, while Portgal is an Imperial Empire knight. The warriors do not speak a common language but exchange names in the heat of battle. In the decisive moment of battle, Portgal attempts to knock Urich's sword away with his shield. But Urich throws his sword away and fights Portgal barehanded, disarming him. Urich then picks up his weapon from the floor and kills Portgal. The story moves to the past. Urich is visiting the village shaman. She tells him that he will become a great warrior. Urich dismisses her fortune-telling and calls her fortunes fake. He makes his exit to go hunting. While he is leaving, she alerts him that the chieftain's son will be jealous if he is successful. Urich does not want to become the chieftain of the tribe, but his name comes up a lot when they are discussing the next chief, she explains. Urich joins the hunting group late. He explains that he was checking on the shaman because he does not want her to die alone. Some members of the hunting group are scared because they are going to the Sky Mountain range today. They are afraid of the world beyond the mountain. They believe that it is filled with dead souls, and if they cross it, they will be unable to come back. Urich confirms that they will be going to the Sky Mountain range. The chief's son caught a big wolf, and he does not want to fall behind him. The tribe has been to the base of the Sky Mountain range before, and he tells the group that they will hunt there as well. Urich teases that those who are afraid are cowards. They should back out now. This fires up the group, and they become eager to prove themselves just like Urich planned. The group climbs up the mountain range for a long time, but they are unable to make it past the halfway point. Urich wonders what is beyond the Sky Mountain range. He wonders if the world beyond is filled with dead souls like the shaman said. Urich's friend, Vold, questions Urich over his intentions to become chieftain. Urich repeats that he does not want to become chief to his friend. If Urich does not become chief, then it is likely that the chief's son will. Vold asks Urich whether he thinks he can listen to his orders. Urich dislikes the chief's son very much, and he will take that into consideration when thinking about it later. Vold thinks that Urich is bound to be the next chief. While they are talking, Urich spots arrows. Members of the hunting group are hit by arrows. Urich wonders whether this is a rival tribe. When inspecting the arrowheads, he notices they are sharp and elaborate. They are too complex to be from a rival tribe. It is something he has never seen before in his life. The enemies have a longer range than the hunting group and have higher ground. The hunting group is out of its depth. As it was Urich who suggested they go deep into the mountains, he feels obliged to take responsibility. He tells Vold to take the wounded and go back down first while he holds the attackers off. Vold refuses to go down as they are tribe brothers, but Urich aggressively insists with threats of violence. He tells Vold that dying together is important, but saving your brothers is also important. Vold tells Urich to come back alive. Urich laughs and reminds Vold, because of his destiny as a great warrior, he has no intention to die here. With the group clear, Urich tries to find the exact location of the attackers. He plans to find the attackers by throwing his spear and then rushing toward them. When he finds the attackers, he is surprised to find that they are speaking another language. They are dressed in clothes that he has never seen before. He wonders whether they are from beyond the mountains and asks them where they are from. But they speak different languages and are unable to communicate. The attackers are wary of Urich because he found them despite starting so far away. Urich is enraged that they attacked his hunting brothers and resolves to kill the group. Sir Portgal intervenes and tells the attackers to lower the bows. He is the leader of the attackers and is wearing a full suit of iron armor. He has intentions to capture Urich alive and bring him to the Imperial Majesty to show the discovery of a new land. Urich is impressed by the amount of iron the attackers have. Portgal is very confident in his armor and throws away his shield. He does not believe that Urich can defeat him with nothing other than an axe. He holds his sword backwards to avoid killing Urich. Although Urich is unable to speak the language with his fast wits, he can understand that they are trying to capture him alive. He takes this as an insult. Portgal rushes in to attack Urich. Urich throws his axe at Portgal. The axe hits him in the visor and knocks off his helmet. Portgal is shocked and cannot believe that Urich aimed for the visor. Urich dodges Portgal's attack and kicks him. Urich has the upper hand and is about to strike to kill Portgal. The rest of the group is terrified for the sake of their leader and fires arrows at Urich. Their arrows hit Urich in the back. They then strangle him to knock him out. When Urich wakes up in the attacker's camp, and it becomes clear that they are from beyond the Sky Mountain range. The night, Sir Portugal is headed out to collect fuel. Urich is happy because there is a world beyond the Sky Mountain range. It is not a world for the souls of the dead. Urich has no clothes and is struggling with the cold. It turns out that the cold weather was the reason that the Trod warriors were never able to cross the mountains. The Stone Axe tribe had attempted to cross the Sky Mountain range many times but could never get past the cold higher altitudes. When Urich breaks free from the rope tying him and slaughters the attacker's camp. He then has the battle with Portugal at the beginning of the story once he returns. In the present day, the scrawny man is running from a group of 3 thugs with blunt weapons. The thugs want to punish him, and he begs for one chance to redeem himself. He spots Urich walking past and begs for his help, promising a reward. Urich is now fully dressed, wearing a white shirt, braces and trousers, which he took from the attacker's camp. At the waist, he holds Portugal's sword. The thugs tell Urich to get lost. Urich knows they won't understand him, but has no intention to get involved. He is simply curious about what is happening. The group recognizes that Urich is a foreigner and thinks he is from the south. One of the thugs threatens Urich. Urich does not understand but dislikes his tone and twists his neck. The 2 other thugs lunge in to kill Urich with their weapons. Urich twists both their necks in one swift motion. The scrawny man is terrified of him. Urich draws a picture of huts in the mud to ask the man where is the nearest village. The scrawny man takes Urich to a city called Ankara. Ankara is a bustling town where lots of people live because of nearby copper mines. Urich is surprised by how many people there are there. The scrawny man realizes that Urich does not know much about the world from his shock reaction. He initially thought that Urich was a foreign traveler, but this does not seem to be the case. He takes Urich to a pub, where he asks him more questions about where he is from. There is a language barrier, and no one in the pub has any idea what he is saying. The pub tenants tell the man that Urich looks like a northerner because of his size. The barbarians from the north are big frames, while southerners are known for their short and thin frames. The man considers that Urich may be from beyond the Sky Mountain range. Urich is wary that if they find this out, their attitudes may change. The man takes a coin out to buy Urich a drink. Urich is intrigued by the coin and its delicate workmanship. The man exchanges the coin for alcohol. Urich is amazed to see the coin traded for alcohol. In his village, he is used to people bartering and swapping items. He realizes that this coin is currency, and he is impressed. 2 men walk into the pub and sit next to Urich. One of the men have an axe on their back. Urich inspects the handiwork of the axe and is impressed by the strength of the axe. He concludes that their iron craftsmanship is much more developed than theirs. He asks the scrawny man how can he get an axe like this. The scrawny man comes to the conclusion that Urich is a runaway criminal desperate for money. He believes that he can exploit Urich and his strength as much as he wants. If he uses Urich, he is sure to make a lot of money. The scrawny man explains that Urich needs the coins to buy the axe. Urich understands that the currency called sil is very important for daily life. The scrawny man offers Urich an opportunity to make money. He takes Urich to a fighting arena where people fistfight for sil. But you are not allowed to kill anyone. Urich understands that money is everything beyond the Sky Mountain range. All the fighters are weaker than him. They are much slower than the Trod fighters. The fighters don't have their lives on the line and they are not real warriors. Urich knocks out the champion with one punch. He reflects that Portugal, the Imperial Knight, was a real warrior. After a few months, Urich builds a reputation as a champion in the arena. Urich becomes tired of his life and is wasting away in this village. The scrawny man has racked up debt and needs to make up for it. He pushes Urich to the arena to make him some money. At the arena, Urich is undefeated. He faces his opponent and can see how weak he is. He wonders how he should end it. While he is thinking, the man attacks him and lands a punch on his stomach. Urich thought that he definitely dodged it. His time in the arena has made his senses rusty. Urich is furious because his senses have dulled. In his rage, he punches his opponent and knocks him out. The opponent lies on the floor unconscious. It turns out he is dead. Urich and the scrawny man are kicked out of the arena and told not to come back after the incident. The scrawny man decides to end things with Urich since he cannot make money with him in Ankara. Urich reflects in his room about the situation. He was unable to control his strength for a simple punch. He thinks about his descent from the mountain range. Was it just to become a drunken warrior? He thinks back to his duel to the death with Portugal and the feeling of battle. He remembers that he left the Sky Mountain range to see things that he didn't know exist. He has enjoyed his time in Ankara. It has been peaceful. But Urich is a warrior, and he will rest when he is dead. The scrawny man takes Urich to an arena to sell him as a slave. There is a small audience, unlike the busier usual nights. Urich senses that it is unusual and readies his hand by his sword. The people on the balcony look down at Urich, assessing him. They are impressed by his quick wits and can see he has strong fighting experience. They think that he will be worth buying. The scrawny man tells them that they do not need to whisper because he cannot speak Imperial, the native language of the land. The slave buyer says he will consider this when pricing him. The scrawny man asks if that is necessary for a slave gladiator and insists they look at his fighting skills. He is sure that he will be able to get good money once they see Urich's abilities. They hand Urich a wooden sword, and he picks up that they intend to test his abilities. Urich quickly bests the challenger. He embarrasses his opponent by taking his sword. Urich throws his opponent his sword back, and then disposes of his own sword. He intends to beat the challenger barehanded. The challenger is furious, and Urich encourages him to come forward and face him. Urich is unfazed as he has been using a real sword since he was 5 years old. He beats him again in this contest, and the slave buyer intervenes before Urich can do any further damage. The slave buyer offers the scrawny man 5 million sil. The scrawny man insists on 15 million sil after the display by Urich. Urich watches the interaction suspiciously. The scrawny man shows the coins to Urich. Urich grabs his sword and furiously charges towards him. He cuts the hand of the scrawny man, dropping the coins on the floor. Urich asks him to open his tongue, so he can cut his tongue in native Imperial. The man is shocked because he did not know Urich could understand Imperial. Urich menacingly asks him to speak nice and slow, because he can't understand if he speaks fast. The gladiator slave buyer recognizes that Urich is not someone you can control. He tries to leave, but Urich asks to negotiate directly with him. He offers to take half of each match's earnings in exchange for food and accommodation. Urich asks if the Imperial language is necessary for a gladiator. The gladiator slave owner says that is not necessary for a gladiator, and they laugh together. He introduces himself as Horus, a slave merchant and gladiator middleman. Urich joins the Horus gladiator crew. Urich meets Bachman, a member of the Horus gladiator crew. He asks Urich about his origins because he looks like a northerner. Urich lies that he is not from the north and is just bad at the Imperial language. Urich asks if all northerners are slaves. Bachman explains that only some are slaves because of the northern expedition that took nearly 10 years. Urich recognizes a large blond man and asks if he is northerner. Bachman explains that he is the only northerner in the troop. His name is Sven, and he's a slave gladiator. Another man approaches Urich. His name is Donovan, and he introduces himself as the main attraction of this gladiator troop. He believes that Urich is a barbarian because he has the behavior of a beast pretending to be human. Urich says he has a good nose and asks if he is a female dog. Donovan replies that he was a member of the barbarian subjugation in the northern expedition and met countless barbarians like Urich. The uncivilized tribes can't wash away the stench of a beast. Urich threatens to cut Donovan's tongue out. Horus swiftly breaks them away before they fight. He is worried that they will die before paying him back. It is time for Urich's first battle as a gladiator. He is partnered up with Sven, the northern slave. Sven is impressed by the material of Urich's sword. The sword that he took from the knight, Portugal. It is made from Imperial steel. Imperial steel is extremely difficult to acquire because the royal family has a monopoly on the iron used. It is many times stronger than regular iron and hence called steel. They are the exclusive property of Empire knights. The talk ends and the two head to the arena. While waiting, Sten is curious about Urich's background. He asks where he is from because he does not look like he was born or grew up in the Empire. Urich says if he said, he'll be so shocked that he'll faint. The arena opens up and they exchange good wishes before the battle begins. Urich's opponent is shocked that he came out with only a sword. He believes that this will be an easy battle because his opponent is overconfident. Urich does not use armor because it makes his body slower and he won't be able to react quickly. He does not want to dull his senses. Urich bounces on his toes and then advances to his opponent. He jumps high over his opponent and stabs him with his sword on his way down. The crowd is impressed by Urich's acrobatics and wonders whether he is from the circus. After defeating his opponent, Urich watches Sven fight. Sven fights with no guard, inviting his opponent to stab him. His opponent charges towards him. He attacks him swiftly in a rage. He defeats him with one strike. The fight is over and Sven asks how old is he. Sven thinks that Urich is around 18, which is the same age as his son would be. Sven walks away disappointed that the Hill of Swords is still far away from him. Urich recognizes Sven's skills and guts and wonders why he is living as a slave. Urich becomes popular as a gladiator. Bachman explains that Sven could become a free gladiator, but he chooses to stay as a slave. Horace saved Sven's life when he was on the verge of death at sea. In gratitude for this, Sven swore loyalty to Horace and became a slave of his own free will. He believes that this will give him an opportunity to enter the Hill of Swords. Since people believe that when they die in battle, they will enter a place where all the great warriors rest called the Hill of Swords. In this place, they can eat and drink alcohol as much. While constantly fighting to test each other's skills, only those who die in battle can go to the Hill of Swords, so Sven's people are more afraid of dying from a disease or in an accident. Sven is happy to die in battle, and that's why he has no fear. Urich reflects on the beliefs of the tribes. The Hill of Swords is different, but like the stories of the Stone Axe tribe. His tribe also believed that beyond the Sky Mountain range was a world of souls. Ultimately, this was wrong. Urich develops a skepticism towards religion because of this, but still, he remains curious. What happens to our souls when we die? He is afraid of what will happen to him when he dies. Seeking an answer, he asks Bachman, an Empire citizen, where will he go when he dies? Bachman replies that he will go to the sun. Bachman believes in the sun god and that his soul will return to Ru where he will be reborn. Some believers form the majority of the Empire, and it is the national religion of the Empire. Bachman suggests Urich converts religion. Urich argues that the sky is bigger than the sun, so his religion is better. Ultimately, they agree to disagree. Some weeks and months pass. Bachman and Urich catch up. Bachman approaches Urich with a plan. The troop is currently divided into Donovan's faction and everyone else. There are 21 gladiators in the troop, and 10 are from Donovan's group. Donovan is influential because he used to be a soldier, and is the most famous gladiator in the troop. Bachman is unhappy with the situation because Donovan's group gets all the easy matches because of Donovan's influence. He believes that if Urich becomes the most famous gladiator, then he will be able to prevent Donovan from tampering with the match list. Bachman knows he does not have the skills to become the best gladiator, so wants to rely on Urich's strength. Urich realizes that Bachman is being cunning, however, he agrees because of Bachman's kindness to him. Donovan and Horace are discussing the match list in Horace's office. Urich walks into the room to discuss the match list. Donovan is annoyed that a nameless gladiator is looking at the match list. He threatens Urich to go away before he kills him. Urich ignores him and asks Horace to put him in the last match of the event. The last match is seen as the main spectacle of a gladiator event and is reserved for the most famous gladiator or extraordinary battles. It is extremely important for business. Donovan is furious and Horace is confused. Urich then explains that he will fight 5 people at once. Horace says that if dies without a good fight, it'll look bad for the troop. Urich laughs, die. He is of course going to win. He has never lost in a fight before, whether it is 5 men or 10 men. Horace is worried about the difficulty of fighting many opponents. He believes that Urich has potential and does not want to see him die like this. Donovan is happy for him to take it because he believes that Urich will surely die. With Donovan's approval, Horace is forced to accept Urich's proposal to fight 5 opponents. A buzz builds up in town for the fight. The citizens are impressed by Urich's ability, but are unsure if he can fight 5 opponents at once. On the day of the fight, Urich is preparing for the fight by creating war paint. While creating war paint, a troop member tells him stories of the ocean, a boundless body of water as wide as the sky. Urich cannot believe it. He believes he is surely lying. Bachman interrupts and is frustrated that Urich is facing 5 people at once. He thinks that it is reckless. Urich is unfazed and completely confident. Urich makes Bachman promise to follow him if he wins. Donovan sees the painted face of Urich and insults him. Urich can see that Donovan truly has experience in the barbarian subjugation because he knows what the war paint is. Urich reflects on the seriousness of fighting 5 people as he puts on his war paint. He knows it will be tough and he may lose his life, but he has no plans to die. With the war paint completed, his resolve is steady and he is determined to win. His aura terrifies Horus and the other gladiators. Urich's opponents are 5 prison inmates. They clearly know how to fight. Their sentences will be reduced if they manage to kill Urich, so they are very determined. But they have no experience working as a team. Urich quickly defeats one and dodges attacks from the others. The Imperial steel sword from Portugal does not dull despite the numerous attacks. Urich and others are impressed by the quality of the Imperial steel sword. Other weapons would have bent or broken. They wonder how a barbarian got something like that. Urich is dominating them with his pressure. He knows how to fight multiple opponents at such a young age. Sten recognizes that it was confidence, not cocky, that led Urich to take the fight. There are only 2 opponents left, and it's clear that they cannot defeat Urich. Urich is a real warrior while these guys are street thugs at best. It seems that Urich had no need to harden his resolve. He quickly defeats the remaining 2 opponents. After the fight, Donovan and Urich meet. Urich says that he is now the main attraction now. Donovan congratulates Urich on becoming the rising star of the Horus gladiator troupe. Later, Urich has a dream where he shows his brothers of the Stone Axe tribe to fertile land. They no longer need to starve anymore. The troop leader, Horus, calls Urich for a discussion about the match list. Donovan is also in the room. There are some matches in the list that the troop is meant to lose. For these matches, they use slayed gladiators. Horus wants Donovan and Urich to participate together in a 3 versus 3. Urich and Donovan refuse, so Horus allows Urich to participate and pick his team. Donovan got to have his way last time. Urich decides to pick Sten and Bachman as his teammates. Urich notices that Horus is writing this information down as a record of events. He is fascinated as this is different from his tribe's use of oral tradition. He understands that if he learns to write and read, they'll be able to learn more things. Before their fight in the arena, Urich is curious about the Hill of the Swords and questions Sven about it. Sven explains that he will rather die and go to the Hill of the Swords than be stuck in the world of the living forever. He has no family or homeland to return to. He has lost everything. During the war that broke out against the Empire against his people, he was responsible for migrating the women and kids to the east. The ship wrecked, and he was the only survivor. There are tales of another land in the east where his ancestors came from. Sen explains that the tales say that the people there have black hair and black eyes. Urich and Bachman are shocked and curious that such a people exist. Bachman is from the coast and does not believe that the east exists. He explains to Sven that if you go to the east, you'll fall off the world's edge. He believes that the world is flat and has an edge. Sten and Bachman argue. Sven reminds Bachman that his people have superior shipbuilding abilities. Urich dismisses both stories as nonsense. He does not believe that such a thing as the sea exists. He asks whether you can reach the world's edge after a few days of swimming. Bachman and Sven are both enraged and tell him that he can't begin to imagine how big the sea is. It is time for the 3 to have their battle. Urich is curious about the world's edge and the land across the sea. He is determined to see it for himself. He smiles thinking about all there is to see in this world. He refuses to die until he sees all the things of this world. After victory in the 3 versus 3 battle, the troop is invited to a gala with the Earl of the city. Urich showcases his axe-throwing ability by throwing axes at an apple above a servant's head. Trios is a noble and the leader of the Great Trios gladiator troop. The troop is in direct competition with Horus gladiator troop. Trios tries to win favor with Earl by showcasing his own champion's ability. He asks for the chance for his champion to throw apples above the servant's head as well. His champion Magdi is terrified because axe throwing is not his speciality. He does not have the ability to match Urich, but he cannot refuse his master in such a public environment and risk embarrassing him. Urich is confused by this. Bachman explains that when a noble tells you to do something, you must do it regardless of how capable you are. Magdi attempts to throw the axe at the apple, but only ends up injuring the servant. The other nobles sneer at Trios. They discuss his incompetence behind his back and how he ruined his father's business. They decide it would be better to not be associated with him. Trios is infuriated. Horus senses the hostile environment and tells Urich and Bachman to return home first before things have the chance to escalate. The next day, Magdi is having a battle with 2 lions in the arena. The challenge is too difficult, and it is clear to Urich that Trios is throwing away his champion because he messed up the axe throw. His wealth allows him to buy another one as he pleases. Mogdi is defeated by the two lions. Afterwards, the troop is traveling to the next city. Horus reflects that he has met countless gladiators in the past, but never anyone like Urich. He explains that Urich is special, and he will not be a gladiator forever. Urich dismisses Horus' praise and explains that he is just a barbarian. Horus snaps back that he is a barbarian who is in the same position as Donovan after just 3 months. Urich says that he really likes it here and wants to buy land. Horus is shocked that a barbarian has such thoughts. Urich asks Horus to teach him to read and write. Horus explains that it's not something that can be learned in one day. Urich offers Horus 10% more from his pay in exchange for him to teach him. Horus is ecstatic and tells Urich to find him after dinner, where they will start by teaching him how to write his name. After dinner, Urich walks to Horus' camp through the woods. He notices something odd in the forest but dismisses it as nothing. Horus teaches the letters to Urich and how to write his name. Horus is shocked. Urich manages to memorize all the letters just by writing them a few times. He quickly learns to spell his name. Urich says that the language is easy and Horus is impressed. With his memory, they'll be able to read and write in a few months. Horus had heard that barbarians learn to read fast, but this was something else. Urich also learned the word axe. While the two are having their lesson, the camp is ambushed by arrows. The group is surprised that someone would dare to attack a gladiator troop. No bandit in their right mind would want to start trouble with battle-worn professionals. Urich's first priority is to hide Horus, the leader of the gladiator troop. Without him, the troop will be over. But as Urich tries to find the enemy, Horus is shot by an arrow in the neck. The arrow is deep in the neck and fatal. Urich explains to Horus that he is going to die, and he should pray to his god. Urich swears to the sky god on his name to kill the attackers tonight, so that Horus can die peacefully without worrying about revenge. Donovan is commanding the remaining members of the troop. It is unclear how many attackers there are. Donovan refuses to retreat after such a one-sided battle. He prepares a strategy of attack. A spearman will throw a sword while he and others close the distance and attack. It is unlikely that they have more numbers, because if they did, they would have surrounded them and attacked them with swords. They begin the operation. The group seems to be bandits or mercenaries, but Donovan cannot distinguish which one. Within the carnage of battle, Trios, the noble leader of the great Trios gladiator troop, can be found. He is at the back barking orders at the group to kill them. He will double the payment if they kill them. Trios has hired the mercenaries to kill the Horus gladiator troop because he was unable to deal with his embarrassment. The troop continues to fight as Urich arrives. The troop is happy because they thought that Urich may have run away. A large number of slaves and gladiators had run away because they did not want to fight. Donovan tells Urich to grab Trios. Urich is infuriated that Donovan is giving him orders in his rage. He throws an axe in Donovan's direction. Donovan is shell-shocked, and he is unable to move as the axe travels toward his head. The axe misses him, and it's a bandit attacking him from behind. Urich tells Donovan that he should watch his back before giving out orders. Urich then proceeds to attack the enemy lines. His ferocity defeats multiple enemies and terrifies friends and foes alike. Trios looks on terrified as Urich makes his way toward him. Eventually, they are face to face. Urich headbutts him and captures him. The remaining mercenaries drop their weapons. The battle is over. The troop is deciding what to do with him. Trios offers to pay for his ransom and reminds everyone that he is a noble, so his well-being has a privileged status. Donovan proposes that the group takes the money since Trios is the type to pay a lot to keep his life. Backman agrees because it is not safe for a gladiator troop to touch a noble. Urich interrupts that the gladiator troop is finished because Horus is dead. He vowed to get revenge for Horus' death and swiftly slices the head of Trios. The remaining mercenaries offer their silence and promise to join the troop. But Donovan refuses and wants to prevent any complications from arising in the future. He kills the remaining mercenaries and tells the remaining members of the troop to gather the corpses and burn them. This will remove any evidence of the incident. A prayer to the sun god Ru is made on the behalf of the bodies as they are burned. The people of the empire believe that their souls go to the sun to be purified on death. After purification, they are reborn. Urich wonders what that means for Horus and his tribe brothers. Will Horus be reborn? He told his brothers that they will meet someday in the world of souls beyond the mountain range. But Navi knows that their souls do not rest beyond the Sky Mountain range. He is saddened and unsure of what this means for him and his brothers. He has heard conflicting stories regarding the Sun religion's rebirth and the Northerners' Hill of Swords. The group is considering how they should move forward. One person proposes that they split the money and go their separate ways, but not everyone has earned enough to make their way home. There are also injured people. Urich proposes that they become mercenaries. It's the group's first couple of days as mercenaries. The group is struggling to find work. They have reinvested their funds into sourcing information and buying food. The group is struggling to do their accounting without the presence of Horus. One of the members has gotten information about an ongoing territorial dispute in the region from a pub tenant. Earl de Gulton and Earl Molando will battle in the area in the open field the group is occupying. The group has been waiting for 4 days. If this job fails, it is likely that the followers will leave Urich, and the leader position will be handed over to Donovan. Donovan has agreed to join the mercenary group because he wants to eventually usurp Urich and become the leader. Urich recognizes that the group needs Donovan because of his ability to command people. Backman wonders why Donovan did not stay in the army. He would live a better life as an imperial soldier than as a gladiator. The group receives an update on the situation as the troops arrive for battle. The land has been ruled by Molando for 2 generations. However, Earl de Gulton has decided to make a claim for the land as it is in their territory. Originally, the Molando purchased the land from de Gulton, but the records do not exist. De Gulton has taken advantage of this to make a claim. The size of the estates and population are similar, so the battle will be close. Each earl has 100 men each. The mercenary group sent a member to negotiate with earls as an envoy. They offer the services of their 22 fully armed veterans with battle experience. The envoy member from the mercenary explains that they are offering the same deal to Earl de Gulton. If Earl Molando does not wish to deal with them, they will work with Earl de Gulton. Both earls give an offer. The mercenary group reconvenes. Earl Molando offers 100 sil per person and 50% of the loot, while Earl de Gulton offers 200 sil per person, and he offers to pay more depending on the group's contribution. De Gulton has a better offer because the base price is higher. The group agrees and Urich suggests that they go with de Gulton. But Sten expresses his disapproval of de Gulton's offer. He believes that they should go with Earl Molando's offer because... Thank you for watching Man XP. Please like and subscribe.